Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. My name is Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with busy professional women to teach them how to attract and keep the partners that they deserve. Now, every Wednesday during the 5 o'clock Eastern hour, I do this live Q&A. This is an opportunity for me to answer your questions around dating and relationships. So how does it work? I take the questions, one, on my Instagram page. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that at Align with Allison, or you can drop your questions right here in the queue. Let me pull that up so I can actually see it. You could drop your questions in the queue on YouTube and I'll be able to answer your questions there. Before we get into the live Q&A, I do have some house cleaning. That would be my live Partner You Deserve training. This is the training where I literally teach the 5-step approach that I use with my clients in my coaching program by the same name. That is going to be on October the 16th, Thursday, October the 16th. And I want to say it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the link there for you guys to join us. Comments. Here we go. And welcome everyone who is joining the live. If you are watching this on Instagram land, cool. I would recommend that you came over to YouTube so that, one, the screen is nice and full, and then two, whatever questions you have, then I would be able to answer them for you. So again, if you are just joining, my name is Allison Wellington. I'm a certified coach. I do this live stream every Wednesday to answer your questions around dating and relationships. How do you submit your questions? You can put them in the comments right now. If you are on YouTube or you are on Facebook, you can drop them. You can see them. If you are in Instagram land, I am not going to see them. So what do you need to do? You need to come on to YouTube so that I can answer your questions. Or if you follow me on Instagram already, you may have dropped your questions inside of my story. I put this story every single week on Tuesdays. And let me show you what it looks like. I was making a reel, so we got to save the draft. Sorry. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Can y'all see this good? Sorry. What the hell is that? And then you put the question in the box. So we are going to get to those questions right now. I'm going to start with the ones that are coming up in the chat on YouTube, and then I'm going to transition to the questions that I received on Instagram in my story. So we have, I'm going to get this wrong. Delazia, let me know if I got that right. She says, how does one mitigate dating fatigue with your method of multiple contacts? How does one mitigate dating fatigue with your method of multiple contacts? So I'm going to give you a specific strategy, and then I'm going to give you a mindset thing. I know people aren't crazy about mindset because it's not concrete, but there is value in both. Okay, so I'm going to give you the concrete, and then I'm going to give you the mindset. So how do you mitigate dating fatigue with my method of multiple contacts? Number one, I need you to bite off as much as you can chew. Right? So if you know that you lead a life that's extremely hectic, you work 50 hours a week and you're a mom and you're back to school, perhaps that's 2 gentlemen at a time that you are dating, not having sex with. Okay, because that was a distraction. So I'm going to say that again. So let's say you are a person who's working 50 hours. You're a mom. You're going for your doctoral degree. You're going to go with 2 gentlemen. That's what you can handle. That's what you can handle. You are not sleeping with them. You are having conversation. You are getting to know them. You are taking 4 hours once a week to go out on a date with them. Okay. And I'll say this, and I say this lovingly and with full respect. If you are so outrageously busy that you cannot speak to someone for 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, when you are driving, right? Like when you're online ordering your Starbucks and you can't find 4 hours on a Saturday evening, on a Sunday morning, on a Friday night to go out on a date, it may be that you need to reprioritize, which means you may have to decide, maybe I am going to finish out this degree before I put myself out there in a dating scene. Maybe I'm going to make sure I pass the bar exam before I start dating again. Maybe, just a maybe, no pressure, I'm going to prioritize my love life and I'm going to scale back on work a little bit. I'm solid in my career. I know I'm not going anywhere. I don't have to work this hard. But if you are so busy that you can't find 15, 20 minutes a day to have a conversation on the phone and then 4 hours to go on a date. It may be that dating just isn't your priority right now. Hold back. Or you need to shift your priorities because you recognize that dating is actually where you want to be. A healthy, committed relationship is where you want to be. And you understand that dating is a part of the process, right? It's the nature of the game. So that is the practical. Maybe we need to reconsider either dating right now or what we're doing in our lives to allow ourselves to have more time to date. Okay, so that's one thing. Number two, mitigating dating fatigue. If you are on dating apps, I need you to be on only 2 of them. Anything more than 2 is overwhelming. I like to compare this to when you're on vacation and you come back from work and you open up your work laptop and you see you have 1,327 emails. What do you do many times? You slam the laptop. It's overwhelming. I don't need you to be on 5, 6, 7 different apps. 2 apps. I also need you to be using language that allows for you to repel inappropriate matches. Many times we are overwhelmed and we have dating fatigue because we are engaging with people we have no business engaging with. Number one, because literally they have access to us that they normally wouldn't have access, right? Like the types of gentlemen that you would date in real life would not many times be the types of guys who are sending you messages, or many of them are not sending you messages, right? So therefore, we need to create a winning dating profile that not only helps you to attract the right people, but more importantly, repel the wrong ones so that you're only receiving 2 matches a week. Now, let me tell you, that's a hit to the ego. Some people don't like that. They want to get the dopamine hit of getting 100 likes, 300, right? But if you're serious and you're intentional, we want quality over quantity. So 2 dating apps at a time and creating a profile and using the appropriate language that will help us to deter or repel inappropriate matches. And I will be teaching that at the Dating 101 Masterclass that's in my bio and live. Let me tell y'all, I have masterclasses in my bio. I have ebooks that are part of my community, trainings that's a part of my community, live streams here. I am all about the live experience. So what we will be doing is we will be hosting the Partner You Deserve live training on Thursday, October the 16th. The link is in the comments now. It'll be pinned to the bottom. It'll be in the description. It'll be everywhere. It's linked in my bio now everywhere. So what I would highly recommend is if you have specific questions after I've taught and trained, if you have specific questions about your dating experiences, you have specific questions around your dating profile, join us for the Partner You Deserve live training on Thursday, the 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yes, it will be recorded, but you can always watch recordings. I want you live and in color. If you have real questions that are specific to your needs, then you need to be in a live training. It is a whopping $27. Whoop-dee-doo. A whopping $27. Whoop-dee-doo. Click the link and join us. Okay, I'm going to put the link again so it's right on the top of this chat. Vanessa asks, how quickly should you move on from a past relationship or situationship? I'm ready to be loved out loud. That is an excellent question. So, Vanessa, I am going to stigmatize relationships. Normally in this nice and soft and easy world that we live in, we want to destigmatize. I want to stigmatize situationships. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. We have no business in them. Therefore, we're jumping in immediately. The only thing that gives us pause, and I'm gonna jump out the window and be difficult, and I'm also gonna say relationships too. The only thing that gives us pause, not anyone else's judgment of how long you should take, not some mathematical equation that says take half the time you've been in a relationship. So you've been married for 10 years, you're gonna be single for 5? Absolutely not. What will give you pause to jump back into the dating scene is if you are still reeling over your breakup. Meaning, when your phone rings or vibrates, your heart jumps and stops and you run to grab it because you think it could be him trying to reunite with you. When you drive past the places you used to frequent, your heart sinks and you're sad. You are literally crying. You wear his clothing so you can smell him. If you are still reeling over a breakup, then absolutely do not get back into the dating scene. But when your phone vibrates and your heart doesn't stop and you're not thinking, hopefully it's him, if you're able to drive past the first place you had your kiss and you're not thinking twice about it, if you're not crying over it, then you need to get back into the dating scene expeditiously, immediately, urgently, because time is of the essence. And what you will see online is the gentleman, and I use that term very loosely, who will tell you that we should be taking our time after a breakup, we should be not rushing them into commitment and all of this foolishness. And in the same breath, they're going to say that as we get older, we're less desirable. If you're over 35, nobody wants you. So are we on a clock or are we not on the clock? I need the gentlemen who speak this rhetoric to explain this to me. Are women on a clock? We already know we're on a biological clock, which the gentlemen are too, because their sperm don't be sperming like how it used to. Don't be like how it used to, okay? But fine, we're on a biological clock. That's undeniable. And that clock is faster than the gentleman. That's undeniable. But if we are on a clock of desirability, then that means we don't have time to waste. Therefore, what we're not going to do is be crying and complaining over an ex for months on end, nor are we going to be dating men for years, hoping and praying that they ask for our hand in marriage. Absolutely not. Instead, we're going to get right back into the dating pool as soon as we recognize and realize that we are not pining over an ex. That means that we're ready to get back in as we actively do the work to become better versions of ourselves. We're not putting dating on pause and then going to therapy for a year. We're not putting dating on pause and then working out for a year. We're not putting dating on pause. And no. We're doing it at the same time because time is of the essence. That's what they said. So then we believe them. Since time is of the essence, we are going to actively date while we work on becoming better versions of ourselves. We need to do that for ourselves because this is not a male-centered page. This is not a male-centered coach. We work on ourselves for the benefit of everyone we're in relationship with, as well as our future husband. We work on ourselves because we know that we require the best. Therefore, if we require the best, then we must be the best. How dare we demand the best of others if we are not showing up as our best selves? The audacity, right? Therefore, we are jumping right back into the scene if we have been able to assess that we are not reeling over an ex. Okay. Thank you so much for that. That's an excellent question. Hi, I met someone online in Chicago. I'm in Atlanta. It's been less than 3 weeks, or I don't know if that's about. It's been a long time since I've been in school, girl. It's been less than about 3 weeks, and he says he's excited to meet in person. Should I follow up on plans to encourage or let him lead? Should I go there? I love Chicago. Okay, so the first thing is I will tell you, and I've said this 1,000 times on multiple platforms, in trainings. We have our live training October the 16th. Click the link in the comments in the bio. If you're watching this on a replay, join us, okay? That I am not a fan of long distance dating. I'll support long distance relationships, meaning we were together, an opportunity arose, an emergency came up, you had to go, we already in love, we're going to make this thing work. Long distance dating, I don't know you, you don't know me, and we're going to have to put in the effort to get to know each other, then like, then care, then love. It's a lot to ask. If one of these two people works, they work remotely, you really have the flexibility to be in and out. If you've already desired to potentially move to that city, not because a man is there, you are not, and not you, but in life, anyone who's listening, you are not uprooting your entire life for a boyfriend. We'll talk about a fiance. Okay, let's have the conversation about how we're going to do it with the husband, right? So if you work remotely or he works remotely, you super have the flexibility to be moving and grooving and seeing each other on a consistent basis. If that looks like once a month, every 3 weeks, y'all have the funds. Y'all have the funds to do that. If you had the desire to move to that city anyway before this man, then we can have a conversation. So now let's have the conversation. I've met someone online in Chicago. I'm in Atlanta. It's been about 3 weeks. He says he's excited to meet in person. Should I follow up on plans? Okay, so I posted a reel. I just told my husband this. It has 263,000 views and it has 2,000 comments arguing about who should follow up with who. I did not comment. I just posted it and said, thoughts, share below. I do that when I know that my opinion is going to be controversial and I don't feel like arguing with people on my page all day. But since you asked, I'm going to take the risk on this video. And I'm going to say, I think it is silly for women to have this expectation that men are the only ones who can, number one, ask to date. I agree. Initially, the first couple of dates, yes. Then they have to do the planning. Okay. Then they have to do all follow up, and they got to pick you up, which I would agree with, or send a car, right? Or at least offer. We could do a, hey, so excited to see you tomorrow. What time are we arriving again? You could do that as a woman. You could do that. You will not die. You can do, hey, I've been thinking about wearing sneakers. How you dressing? Because I know that there's a little bit of a walk before we get to blah, 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 blah. That's a follow-up method. If you are so concerned, and not you, the listener, oh, I don't want to be too thirsty. He asked you on the date. He planned the date. He's paying for the date. You can ask a follow-up question to ensure that we're still going. Okay. Now, I wouldn't say encourage, like, hey, I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Did you book your ticket yet? Like that's encouraging. Like, oh, but you can say, hey, are we still on? Are you still coming through? You still coming down to the A? Right? You can say that and you will be fine and you will not thirsty and you will not die. All right. That's my opinion. Other people might say otherwise. Argue with me in your comments if you want to. Okay. By the way, we've been talking regularly and do video chats. Excellent. He's a professor and seems to be pretty normal. I would stay in a hotel. Absolutely. I'm sorry. That was a given. We're not staying in nobody's house. You're not staying at anybody's house unless you are prepared to do, what did Steve Urkel call it? The horizontal polka. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not going on vacations. We're not being around beds unless we're prepared to sleep with each other. So must be in separate hotels. I'd prefer if he offered. That would be really nice. That would be like the icing on the cake. Okay. Okay. I needed to hear this. Thank you so much, because I was one that just wasted years of my life. I am in therapy, and I feel that pretty soon I'll start dating again. Good. And what I would also say is ask your therapist. We've been working together for X amount of time. I feel like I'm ready to get back into the dating scene. What are your thoughts? 9 times out of 10, they're not going to give you a straight answer, because that's therapists, right? And I say this as someone who has a master's degree in mental health counseling. I'm a coach for a reason, because I like specificity and directness. I know why therapists do that. They do that to protect themselves and to protect you, because if you do what they told you to do and then it didn't go well, now they're accountable. So I get it, but this is why I appreciate coaching. So I'm going to tell you, ask the therapist. If the therapist says they think you're ready, great, go. If the therapist says, well, what do you think? Which is probably what they're going to say. You feel like you are, go. What's the worst case scenario? You go on a date with a gentleman and maybe you start breaking down crying and you say, oh my God, I'm not ready. I'm so sorry. And he's a little disappointed and you apologize profusely. Maybe you pay for the lunch because you ruined it. And then you go on hiatus. You will be all right. Jump out the window. You will be okay. Okay. Excellent. What makes men pursue independent, ambitious women and then later feel uncomfortable with those same qualities? Excellent question. What makes men pursue independent, ambitious women and then later feel uncomfortable with those same qualities? So I'll say this. It's very similar to women who say that they want a man who's funny. And then when he's making jokes when they're serious, they say, ain't shit funny, right? Many times we appreciate things when appropriate. We appreciate behaviors when appropriate. We appreciate being able to, tell others, right? Like kind of just, to show people off when appropriate. But when your independence is so much so that he feels less than, right or wrong, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. When your independence makes them feel useless, when your ambition outshines theirs, now that part I'll say they're probably wrong on. Work harder. You're a man, you have more opportunity, work harder. The independence part can be an annoyance for any man. The ambitious part, especially if you really do want to build a healthy, committed relationship where there's quality time, where you're looking to plan a family and you're working 65 hours a week, then that sounds a little bit dangerous for a man to invest in. And yes, the investment is real. Not only the literal cost to invest in a woman, but the time, effort, energy. So at first, it does sound cool. Wow, she's not needy. She won't rely on me for everything. Wow. Even though I'm a man who believes in being a provider, it's nice to know that there's a woman who, if I became ill, if I could not work, if an emergency happened, that she could do for herself. Wow. She has something to talk about. She's not a bird brain, right? Like, she's intelligent, she's worldly, she's experienced. I could bring her around my peoples. She'll be able to stand her own ground. But if that extends from that, which are all good things, to the point where the independence is so much so that he doesn't feel like he can contribute at all, and you don't make a space for that, then I can imagine that that's annoying. If your ambition is so much so that it outshines his, which is his problem, not yours in most cases, then I can imagine that is annoying. So we do have to be mindful that we're looking for balance, right? Libra scales, balance. I do want you to be someone who can function on your own. You're an adult. You should be able to function on your own. You should be able to pay your own bills. You should be able to balance a checkbook. You should be able to take care of your own health and well-being, right? You should be independent, but not so much so that it's a turnoff, right? You should be ambitious, but if you have the goal of sharing your life with a person, then that ambition in your work also may need to scale back a bit, all right? They should absolutely be balanced. I have 3 more questions I'm gonna take, and then I gotta be out. If I'm already a confident, professional woman with standards, what gaps would your coaching program fill for me so that I can't figure out on my own? Let me get that right. If I'm already a confident professional woman with standards, what gaps will your program fill for me that I can't figure out on my own? All right. So the first thing, I don't want anyone to think that working with a coach and working with me, unless it's a confidence coach, has anything to do with lack of confidence on your part. You being someone who's struggling in the dating scene does not necessarily have to do with a lack of confidence. You not getting into the best relationship of your life in 6 months or less working with me may not be a confidence issue. So I don't want you to think, well, I'm already confident. Why do I need a dating coach? It's not about a lack of confidence. It's about a lack of skill. It's about a lack of practice. If you are a busy professional woman who has been trained like me, if you are Caribbean, if you are African, if you are Southern, if you're in New York, you come from a big city, especially, you have been trained to focus on your books. You have been trained to get your career in order first. You have been trained consciously, subconsciously, from your family, from society. You're an 80s baby, 70s baby around the crack epidemic. You were trained to take care of your business first. Don't worry about a man. Don't rely on a man, right? Therefore, many of us have not been allowed the opportunity to practice dating, to practice discernment, learning what questions to ask, what behaviors to pay attention to assess whether or not a gentleman is an appropriate match. So it's not about a confidence. It's not about a lack of standards. What coaching will allow is to teach you the skills necessary to assess the gentleman in front of you. It teaches you how to lean into your feminine energy, where many of us have been a lot more in our masculine because we have to in the workplace. What coaching allows for you to do is to be reflective, to learn how to level up both inside and out. Because again, if we're demanding the best of others, that means we have to show up as our best selves. The workplace doesn't allow that many times. The hustle and bustle doesn't allow for that many times. Working from home, I just took out my bonnet and took my wrap out because I work from home, doesn't allow for that. So working with a coach has nothing to do with you not being pretty enough, or not being confident enough, or not holding to your standards. Working with a coach is teaching you specific skills, if you work with me, because I can't speak in other people's programs, around vetting, discernment, leveling up so you're showing up as the best version of you, leaning into your feminine energy, fixing your dating profile, like we talked about earlier, so that you're attracting the right people, but more importantly, repelling the wrong ones. Working with a coach, working with me, is going to teach you which events you should be attending so you're around like-minded, equally yoked, marriage-minded men, right? It's going to teach you how to lead in a conversation where you're going towards a date without actually planning one, so that they know that don't play with her because she's not one to be played with, that kind of lead. Working with a coach is going to teach you how to conduct yourself in conversation where you're more of a listener versus a speaker. You know, women on average say 13,000 more words a day than men. We got to reverse that and start listening to them. One, we show our appreciation that they are a person on this date and not just a listening board. And then 2, we're learning about them, more importantly, so that we can assess whether or not they're an appropriate match. And then lastly, in my program, I have a licensed marriage and family therapist who pushes in to teach you how to build a healthy relationship moving forward. Because all of the things that I just mentioned will get you on higher quality dates with higher quality guys, and you'll be very happy, and so will I. But I know in my mind, I want you in a healthy, committed relationship that's leading to marriage. So you need to learn how to build a healthy relationship. It's not just being pretty and talking less, right? And putting the right photos on a profile. So again, this is an excellent question. Working with a coach is not about being more confident or learning to stick to your standards. It's about learning a skill set that is not taught in school. All right, folks, I have 2 questions that was on my Instagrammy, and then I got to run. Make sure that you are joining me for the Partner You Deserve. Let me copy and paste this again. The Partner You Deserve live training. It is on October the 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay. It is a whopping $27. If you don't have these skills and you are wasting time, effort, energy, eggs on the wrong people, then you need to get into this class expeditiously, because nothing is going to change until you make a change. You got to do something different to get a different result. All right. Let's fix a dish. I think I got that right. Says, yes, she helped me with the skills to date. So when I meet him, I knew he was, or when I met him, I knew he was right for me. We're very happy together. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. All right. Let's get these 2 questions off of Instagram land, and then we're good to go. Okay. So tips for, Instagram land, the text is like this small. Tips for single mothers when it comes to dating and dating apps. That's excellent. And it's right on time to the question I just received, which is, I have 3 kids. Have you had successful clients like me? So let me answer this one, because you're live. So this is why live can never beat a replay. Okay. And you follow the instructions. You're on YouTube with me. So I have 3 kids. Have you had successful clients like me? Absolutely. I have had clients with children. I want to say the most was 4. I have clients who are in healthy, committed relationships with children, without children, want children, don't want children. I have had clients who have been married before twice, some divorced, some never married ever, and may not even desire marriage, but really just wants long-term companionship. I have clients who are Black, who are white, who are Jewish, who are Asian. I have clients who are as young as 28 and as seasoned as 74. Stop playing with me. The program works because we work it. The system works because we work it. Of course, there are caveats, which is why you do a live coaching program. So I can speak specifically to your needs, to your desires, and tailor things specifically for you. But absolutely, I've had a client with 4 kids who's in a healthy, committed relationship right now. So there's no excuse. I want you to start with getting into the training or start with the training if you want. Or if you are serious and dedicated like me, you jump right into coaching. You apply for coaching. Let me get you that link before I answer the final 2 questions on Instagram. And you can apply for the coaching program right now. Some people might want to start with the training. That's cool. And then get into coaching. Some people know what they want. They're serious. They're not playing. Okay. All right. Here go our 2 Instagrammy questions. So we have tips for single mothers when it comes to dating and dating apps. Excellent question. So number 1, with dating, many of you guys have been taught that you want to be dating someone for a year, 18 months before you introduce them to the kids, because the kids are going to judge you. Let me tell you something. You date somebody for a year, you're going to be in love. You introduce them to your kids don't like them, or they don't like the kids. It's not a good match. It's not a good mesh. Then what? Now you got to dump the guy, because we're definitely not choosing men over our kids. You're not going to do that. Instead, you're going to first work on a healthy co-parenting relationship, because the other parent will have a negative impact on your dating experience, right? Try your best to get on the same page. Find an agreement that you both can have. We will not introduce people until we are dating for 6 months. We won't introduce anybody until the other person, the other parent has met them. You're going to do something along those lines to make it work, to make it mesh, so you can have an agreement of some sorts if you can. Work your best at an agreement that you both can come up to. Now, once you have an agreement, ideally, or even if you don't, you come up with what's reasonable in your head. You are going to date. If you have been seeing this person for 6 months, you're not in love yet, but you like the person, you care about them, you introduce them to the children. Let's see if it's a good match, if they get along. Also, make sure you're having conversations with your children. They know that mommy and daddy are no longer together. Daddy is dating other people because he wants to be happy and in love, and we want that for him, as well as we want that for ourselves. So you'll see mommy going out on dates every once in a while. And when I think that I found someone who's a great match for me and our family. Let the children feel involved in the process. Then I'll introduce you. And that's if they're of age to understand, right? If they're not, then obviously you don't have that conversation yet. So that's one. Number two, with dating apps, you're going to do the same amount of vetting that anyone would do. Yes, obviously we have a bigger investment when we have children involved, but your safety is as important, right? And so your vetting is going to look like you only talk to people on dating apps who have a verified account. Make sure your account is verified. They need to submit their ID, a selfie, whatever it is to confirm who you're speaking to on the app is who you're actually speaking to on the phone. Okay. Verified counts only. Number two, what you're going to do is make sure that you have video chats before that first date. I posted a reel about it on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. People didn't like it. You are bugging. If you step outside and you have not done a video chat to confirm that this person looks at least from the top of their head to their clavicle, how they present online. I need some kind of evidence, not only for my safety, which is most important, but also I'm wasting time, effort, money on makeup, cabs, I just got childcare, and you don't look the way I thought you look? Absolutely not. Okay. So that's something else that you can do as a safety measure. Okay. Number three, and the final thing that I would recommend is that, like everyone else, you're going to share your location and you are going to be a part of the decision making as to where you go. You're not going to let him choose the restaurant. You didn't Google it to see what the lighting looks like, what the parking looks like, if the neighborhood is safe for you and you're comfortable going there. This is a stranger. Oh, last but not least, do not get in their car until you feel comfortable. Do not go to their house until you are ready to sleep with them. Okay, those are the rules. All right, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Maricel says, I just love your approach. I appreciate you. And I hope that you're on the training that is on the 16th. So the link is everywhere. Make sure that you join us. This has been a pleasure. I am going to be live again on Instagram. So this is my schedule as of right now. I'm going to be going live on YouTube Mondays, 12 noon, YouTube for Q&A Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then Instagram land on Fridays, 12 noon. And I'm going to have a very special guest. So make sure that you are checking out my stories. Make sure that you join my email list. All you have to do is go to my website, alignwithallison.com, and you can download anything and you'll be on my email list so that you can get the alert. But I have a very special guest. That I'll be announcing in my stories tomorrow. So make sure you should follow me on Instagram if you're not. Maricel says, do you help in the part of which dating apps you should use? Absolutely. I dedicate an entire week to dating apps. So if you join my coaching program, The Partner You Deserve, I do your dating profile for you. And I have some former clients who are here on the stream that can attest for that. Okay. So apply for coaching and I will do your profile for you and with you, I should say. We do it together. For the training, I will give advice. You ask me, I'll give you a quick answer. But obviously, we only have an hour and like 15 minutes together. So time is of the essence. Coaching is 8 weeks. I do it with you. All right. All right, beautiful people. It's been a pleasure. I will see you Instagram land on Friday, 12 noon Eastern, back here on YouTube where I live and breathe. So you want to get the long form, the good stuff, the Q&As, the interactive. This is where you need to be. Make sure if you haven't done yet, you subscribe. I have worked hard for y'all for 40 minutes. There's no excuse why you cannot go ahead and subscribe. Love you, folks. See you. Bye.